Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into how emission standards are key to elevating environmental, social, and governance performance. We'll explore how these standards guide us toward reducing greenhouse gas emissions and help companies align with global sustainability benchmarks. Let's get started. Emission standards are a cornerstone of the environmental pillar in ESG. They set benchmarks for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, which aligns businesses with global sustainability objectives like the Paris Agreement and net zero goals. It's all about enhancing corporate transparency and accountability in emission reduction efforts. Let's break down emissions into three scopes. Scope 1 covers direct emissions from company-owned sources. Scope 2 focuses on indirect emissions from purchased energy. And Scope 3 encompasses all other indirect emissions throughout the value chain. Understanding these distinctions is crucial for effectively managing and reducing your organization's carbon footprint. Scope 3 emissions are a major focus because they represent the bulk of a company's carbon footprint across the value chain. These are influenced by complex supply chains, product usage that impacts emissions, globalized supply processes, and improper waste disposal. Tackling Scope 3 is key to a comprehensive emissions strategy. Understanding the relationship between Scope 3 greenhouse gas inventory and product greenhouse gas inventory is essential. For a typical product, emissions occur upstream during material acquisition and processing, and downstream during distribution, storage, and end-of-life stages. Connecting these stages through Scope 3 provides a comprehensive view of a product's life cycle emissions. The Scope 3 emission journey begins with raw material extraction, moving through transporting these materials to manufacturers. It continues with the manufacturing process itself, then on to product distribution and usage. Finally, it concludes with the end-of-life stage. This journey highlights the comprehensive nature of Scope 3 emissions and the importance of addressing each step. To effectively calculate emissions, different methods can be applied across product life cycle stages. Supplier-specific methods rely on detailed supplier data, while hybrid and average methods mix specific and general data. Spend-based methods utilize economic data. Each approach varies in precision and data specificity, tailored to capture emissions comprehensively at each stage. Managing emissions involves a structured approach. First, you define boundaries to understand the scope. Next, you collect relevant data, followed by identifying the appropriate emissions factors. Finally, you quantify emissions to get a clear picture of your carbon footprint. This step-by-step process ensures accurate and effective emissions management. Emission standards are regulatory limits for pollutants released by vehicles, industries, and more. Globally, we see variations such as the European Union's Euro standards, strict US EPA standards addressing pollutants like carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxides, and India's Bharat stage standards aligning with global benchmarks. These standards significantly influence ESG strategies worldwide. Emission standards play a vital role in ESG. Environmentally, they cut harmful emissions like carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxides, promoting cleaner technologies. Socially, they improve air quality, benefiting health and reducing costs associated with climate change. From a governance perspective, these standards enhance compliance, reputation, and investor confidence, aligning with global ESG benchmarks. Emission standards offer significant benefits to businesses. They drive innovation by encouraging the development of cleaner technologies and sustainable practices. They enhance reputation, giving companies a competitive edge and attracting ESG-focused investors. Moreover, by adhering to these standards, businesses mitigate risks, avoiding fines, legal issues, and reputational damage. Meeting emission standards can be challenging. Global variations create compliance complexities for international firms. Technological barriers often involve high costs for adopting cleaner technologies. Regulatory changes demand frequent adjustments, and accurately measuring and reporting emissions can be complex. These hurdles require strategic management to ensure successful compliance. Let's explore the Euro standards. Starting with Euro 1, introduced in 1992, these regulations have progressively set limits on emissions like carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, hydrocarbons, and particulate matter. Each step from Euro 1 to Euro 6 has tightened these limits, with Euro 6 focusing on heavy-duty vehicles, reducing nitrogen oxide and particulate matter significantly. These standards are pivotal in the EU's push for cleaner transportation. Shifting to the United States, the EPA standards cover both light-duty and heavy-duty vehicles. Tier 1 started in 1994, setting the basics for carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxides. Tier 2 in 2004 tightened these limits and introduced binning for more flexibility across vehicles. By Tier 3 in 2017, limits were further reduced, targeting smog-forming pollutants with a focus on gasoline vehicles. Meanwhile, HD5 and HD7 standards apply to heavy-duty vehicles, aiming to further cut emissions and integrate advanced technologies. India's Bharat stage, ABS, standards are modeled after Europe's Euro standards. Starting with BS3 in 2005, the baseline was set for vehicle emissions. BS4 then raised the bar, significantly cutting nitrogen oxides and particulate emissions for both petrol and diesel vehicles. With BS6 launched in 2020, India skipped BSV, leapfrogging to its most stringent regulations. This shift dramatically reduced harmful pollutants, integrating advanced tech like selective catalytic reduction and diesel particulate filters, pushing towards cleaner vehicles. China's GB Guobiao standards focus on vehicle emissions, mirroring Euro standards in classification and techniques. It all started with GB1 in 2001, evolving to GB6, which aligns with Euro 6, covering both light and heavy-duty vehicles. Introduced in 2020, GB6 significantly curbs NOx, hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, and particulate matter emissions, with additional sulfur content limits in fuels to enhance air quality. Emission standards drive corporate ESG performance by reducing air pollution through stricter controls on carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter. This pushes innovation in clean technologies and supports a low-carbon economy. By reducing respiratory illnesses and healthcare costs, they lead to better health outcomes and improved life expectancy. Additionally, adopting sustainable technologies fosters resource-efficient practices and contributes to the circular economy. Emission standards significantly enhance corporate ESG performance by reinforcing stakeholder confidence. They build trust and credibility, emphasizing corporate social responsibility and strengthening ESG credentials. Communities benefit through healthier environments, reduced healthcare costs, and increased property values, showcasing the social impact of adhering to these standards. Emission standards have a powerful impact on governance within ESG. By ensuring compliance with national and international regulations, companies avoid penalties and adopt proactive measures. This enhances transparency through rigorous emission reporting and ESG disclosures, reinforcing accountability and trust with stakeholders. Improving ESG through strict emission standards brings numerous benefits. They reduce greenhouse gas emissions, targeting carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrogen oxides. This mitigates climate change by lowering global warming potential and enhancing air quality. Additionally, it conserves natural resources through clean technologies, electric vehicles, and sustainable resource management, fostering a stable global climate. Emission standards have social benefits that resonate deeply. They create jobs in green technologies, renewable energy, and electric vehicles, while boosting innovation and pollution control. Community relations strengthen with commitments to cleaner living and improved infrastructure, reducing pollution and fostering goodwill. Enhanced air quality leads to fewer respiratory diseases, lower healthcare costs, and healthier urban populations. Improving ESG with emission standards brings governance benefits, increasing transparency and credibility through stakeholder trust and detailed ESG disclosures. Compliance with global environmental laws enhances legal adherence and global market competitiveness. Furthermore, better risk management reduces regulatory and reputational risks, safeguarding corporate integrity. Integrating emission standards into ESG reporting involves aligning emission reductions with ESG goals. This means setting clear objectives and embedding them into your business strategy. Public reporting of emissions data along with setting reduction targets enhances transparency. Using recognized frameworks like the Global Reporting Initiative and Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures ensures standardization. Tracking performance against science-based targets, such as those from the Science-Based Targets Initiative, helps in maintaining regular progress evaluations. When it comes to reporting, effective tools are essential. Carbon accounting tools help categorize emissions into scopes, ensuring standardized reporting. Comprehensive data integration allows for seamless data collection across platforms. On the other side, emissions tracking software offers real-time monitoring, giving a clear snapshot of emissions performance. Together, they provide a balanced and detailed approach to emissions management. Achieving ESG goals through emission standards presents several challenges. Regulatory changes can be unpredictable, requiring businesses to adapt quickly. Technological barriers may arise, as implementing new, cleaner tech often requires significant investment and innovation. Measurement and reporting complexities can hinder precise tracking and compliance. Additionally, global variations in standards make it tough for multinational companies to maintain consistency across regions. Navigating emission standards offers a strategic outlook for advancing ESG. It's a balance between evolving regulations, driving technological innovations, and meeting climate impact goals. Corporate leadership plays a crucial role in integrating these elements, ensuring businesses not only comply but also thrive in a rapidly changing landscape. When it comes to global recognition frameworks for ESG, the Global Reporting Initiative and Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures stand out. The Global Reporting Initiative offers guidelines for sustainability reporting, helping companies transparently disclose their environmental impacts, including greenhouse gas emissions. Meanwhile, the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures provides a comprehensive framework for companies to disclose climate-related financial risks and opportunities. This encourages companies to assess, report, and manage both regulatory and physical risks tied to emission standards. Standardized emission measurement plays a pivotal role in enhancing the green supply chain. By tracking and managing emissions, it offers visibility into every stage, from raw materials to delivery. Supplier collaboration is crucial as it fosters partnerships to adopt cleaner technologies and reduce carbon footprints. Reducing waste and inefficiency leads to resource optimization and greener alternatives. Ultimately, this strengthens resilience, enabling supply chains to adapt to evolving regulations and sustainability demands. The emission reduction process is all about effective management and strategic changes. First, monitor progress over time to track improvements and ensure achievement of reduction targets. Then, set specific priorities for action by directing resources towards significant emission sources. Lastly, pinpoint emission activities to identify where high-impact reductions can be made. For example, a food processing company using standardized measurements discovers that packaging contributes to 30% of its Scope 3 emissions. By switching to biodegradable or lightweight materials, they can significantly reduce emissions. Aligning with global sustainability goals involves a comprehensive approach. The Paris Agreement focuses on limiting temperature rise and reducing emissions, setting a standard for global climate efforts. On the transparency front, global reporting initiatives offer frameworks for consistent reporting and engaging stakeholders. Meanwhile, the Science-Based Targets Initiative drives companies to adopt science-based benchmarks to actively mitigate climate change. Together, these frameworks support businesses in aligning with global efforts for a sustainable future. Thank you for your attention today. If you have any questions or are ready to embark on your own ESG journey, feel free to reach out to us at esguillemon@consultech.com. We're here to help guide and support your sustainability efforts.